Hi, we're here with Andy Brown, CEO of the Attention Council. How are you doing?
Yeah, good to see you.
Why is attention important? The $10,000 question.
Only $10,000. Well, I think, there's a number of different levels you can answer the question. So, at one level, with my background around audience measurement, one of the most important things I think from the advent or the more widespread use of attention metrics, if you will, is almost moving from an industry that has been built around opportunities to see to, are the ads actually seen? It might sound very simplistic, but that is actually a really big step forward as we go from gross impressions to net exposure. Did people see the ad? So that's a big piece. I think there's a big piece around creative. A huge amount of work goes into building creative, but also there's quite a big industry around testing creative and optimizing how creative is put together. So I think there's valuable insights from attention that can be pulled out from that. And I guess the third one, and perhaps most important thing of all, is that where clients have been using attention metrics, whether that be in terms of creative input or in terms of media placement, they're seeing significantly higher levels of return on their investment. So in other words, it works.
Obviously, attention has been kind of a discussion point for the past couple of years. There's talk about moving it from the research lab to practical usage. What's the state of attention measurement today?
I think it's a great point. I think the attention metrics are getting, forgive the pun, a lot of attention. The use is becoming more widespread. I think all the major media holding companies now using attention metrics, growing number of publishers, and almost by inference, a growing number of advertisers now engaging with attention metrics. And I think with that has become perhaps a little bit of a gold rush in terms of new players coming into the market on the measurement side, as well as on building ad solutions around attention metrics. And I think there's actually quite a big job to be done around educating the market. And as more money is invested against attention metrics, that kind of money at risk principle would suggest that we need to do more work. By that I mean experimental design work, not just case studies to show effectiveness. We need to know exactly how it works. We need to create much tighter definitions of what attention is. And I think it's quite interesting, in the last couple of weeks, the ARF has put together a working group and is going to sort of affect a study which will look at some of the normative outputs from attention metric research partners. So I think it's a really interesting time right now. I think it's the next step in the evolution and elevation of attention metrics.
When we talk about attention, there's a couple different ways to look at it. There's the attention that the creative generates. There's the attention on where a ad is shown, the media. Should they be working together? Is it how should a marketer or an agency or a media publisher think about the sort of attention through the prism of creative and attention through the prism of media?
Yeah, it's interesting. We, whatever it is now, must be 20 odd years ago, as an industry, we began to separate within the agency companies the media function from the creative function. And there are certain benefits that have accrued from doing that. But I think one of the first things that when I came across attention metrics that called out to me was, is this a way, will we see full service agencies come back where creative and media come together again? And I think if you look at them in isolation, attention metrics for media is about finding a highly engaging environment for your ad and making sure that that ad is seen, whilst the creative component is making sure that you get maximum value out of that opportunity by putting a high quality communication into that ad. So I think the two work quite harmoniously. And yes, who knows, we might see a structural shift there, or at least a business process shift created by attention metrics.
As you've studied this environment, there are obviously agencies and advertisers and service providers that have really invested in this, that are making it part of everything they do. And then there are companies, organizations, people just getting started. So what's the advice if you're watching this and you realize that, you know, you've heard a bit about attention, but you're behind where you think you should be?
You might expect me to say this, but my advice would be to get your feet wet, get involved in the process, even join the Attention Council. You know, it's a great opportunity for our members to rapidly accelerate their understanding and learning in very practical terms about how attention is being used today, both from a buy, a sell, and a creative perspective.